Mr. Diddy.
Drink your water. Come on, come on, come on. Drink your water. Lift your glass and 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 drink your water. Drink, 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 drink. Drink, 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 drink. Take your breath and drink your water. Take a breath and drink your water. Take your breath and drink your water. Take your breath and drink your water. Drink, 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 drink. Drink, 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 drink. Lift your glass and pour for your ancestors. Lift your glass and pour for ancestors. Lift your glass and pour for ancestors. Lift your glass and pour for ancestors. Drink, pour, drink, pour. Drink, pour, drink, pour. Lift your glass and drink some water. 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 Drink, 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 drink. Drink, 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 drink. Lift your glass and drink some water. Lift your glass and drink some water. Lift your glass and drink some water. Drink, 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 drink. Drink, 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 drink. Take your breath and drink some water. 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 Drink. Let's get it, come on. Finish up that water, family. We almost there, come on. Great, 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 great Kujichagulia family. Great Kujichagulia to you. Man, we drinking this water. We starting off our day in a powerful way. I just got a few things to talk with you about, and then I'm gonna let you go and get started with your day. So I'm sitting up here. I want to post up because I was doing some slight calculations. You know, I'm not as good as my brother Kwame, right? But I was doing some slight calculations, and it turns out that the first day of the year is on a Moja this year. I want y'all to think about that. Now, I put up the 21-day challenge, and what a perfect time to start the 21-day challenge than on the first day of the supposed new year, family. Now, I'm just saying. So go on, check out the information about it. It's free. Check out the information about the Nguzo Saba Challenge. Also, you know what I'm saying? You could also join the challenge on Facebook. I'm gonna post that up too. I'm gonna get that one up for you too. So that you, matter of fact, you just look up Nguzo Saba Challenge on Facebook and it's there, right? So now, oh man, I had so much that I wanted to talk about, but you know how when you start, you all of a sudden just run out of stuff. You know what I'm saying? It's crazy. But for the last couple of days, I've been getting to this book, The Annotated African American Folk Tales. Henry Louis Gates Jr. and Maria Tartar. Man, listen. Man, I got some stories for Kwanzaa this year, family. I'm not playing. It's Kwanzaa season. I'm getting ready. We got plenty of stories for the 21-day challenge. We got plenty of proverbs for the 21-day challenge. And it's like, yo. And I know some of y'all like, what, 21 days, blah, 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 blah. Listen, the 21-day challenge. See, because when I did it and I was sharing with y'all, I fasted for 21 days, right? Went up to the fast, I went all the way through with water for a couple of days. I did, no, you want the root? Okay, I got the root in the refrigerator waiting for you, bruh. I'll probably see you on possibly Kaumba. We just have to hook up. I got the root. If you want me to take it to work with me and have it, I got that root. I got it out. It was hard. For those that don't know, Brother Kwame orders his, what he did, but the grocer no longer carries the live root of the ginseng. So Brother Kwame orders his ambrosia with live ginseng. So I put the ginseng in the bottom, but it's a mug to get out, so I had to go in and get the stuff out the bottle for them. I got them, they intact. I hate it. They taste good too. Man, you be taking too long to get back on them. Get back on those text messages, man. I be trying to be patient. But that group was just looking at me like, "Hey, man, you know you want it. Come on." Yeah, dude. Yeah. Yeah. Now, so I get you the root. But now, there's only 4 things you got to worry about on the 21-day challenge. And I think I scared some of y'all because I do stuff like that. I do 21-day fast. I'm thinking about a 42-day fast, right? You know what I'm saying? I'm just thinking about it. I've been thinking about it, right? But you don't have to do that. All I'm doing is introducing different things that you could use during the 21-day challenge to change your life. In 21 days, you could change your life. In 21 days, you can be on the way to losing weight. On 21 days, you can be on the way to changing a habit. On 21 days, you could be on the way to changing your thought patterns. Now, the 21-day challenge focuses on 4 things. Your breathing, your water intake, right? Changing the water. I've been working with this spring water for a while, and I think spring water work, or artesian water, you know what I'm saying? Water that comes directly from the earth, you know what I'm saying, where they getting it, or at least they say they're getting it. So that might be what they call it, where they play with your mind. I can't remember what it's an effect. I think about it. Your water, proper diet, culturally appropriate diet, and movement. Those 4 things change your life. Now, in the diet, what I ask people to include is look at the African heritage diet. Start eating culturally appropriate foods, family. A lot of sicknesses that we have are coming because we are not eating a diet that our body was developed for. I need y'all to understand that. The placebo effect. Thank you, brother. You know what I'm saying? I need y'all to understand that. A lot of us are unhealthy because our diets do not reflect our culture. Understand? Our culture was developed to protect us. So eating in a culture was developed to protect you and keep you alive. And I know a lot of y'all say, what about the slave diet? You know what I'm saying? People ate what they had to eat to survive. And I want y'all to understand how our ancestors even ate on the plantations. They didn't eat large amounts of meat. If they had meat, the meat was used as a flavoring. They ate a lot of grains and a lot of greens because they would have to go out there and get them damn greens. They would have to supplement their diet when they had time off from working on master's plantation to go and get their own shit. So they was going out and they was getting wild caught game. They was eating a lot of greens, a lot of fresh fruit. You know what I'm saying? They was eating off the land. So even the way they was eating was a lot healthier than us. We thinking they was sitting around eating pork all goddamn day. Pork wasn't really a major part of the slave diet until we start having access to pork. God damn it. I want y'all to think about that shit. It wasn't like these motherfuckers was running around throwing out bacon and shit to our ancestors. You know what I'm saying? Oh man, here's some ham. You know what I'm saying? Here's some bacon. You know what I'm saying? Here's some tenderloins or whatever the fuck come off the pig. It wasn't like we was getting all that shit. We was getting the leftover shit. And even when we got the leftover shit, we was using it as seasoning because it was a lot of us. So, we really got to rethink we have been sold a bag of shit as far as our history, as far as our culture. Family, let me tell you right now, if you look at how our people ate and start practicing that and start adding a little bit more to your diet every day, you will live a lot longer. And you know what was a big, major part in African and black cultural eating? Fermented foods. And speaking of fermented foods, this is brought to you by that ambrosia. Alright, so the 21 Day Nguza Saba Challenge is about you changing you, right? You working on you. And then I would love to get groups, because one of the issues that we're having in our community is that a lot of us, we start doing things as individuals and we will never free ourselves as individuals. Let me say that again. We will never free ourselves as individuals. Freedom is a collective thing. It's not an individual thing. Many of us are looking for escapes. We're looking for escapes. And really what it comes down to is we're trying to escape who we are, because that's the only way they're going to accept you. If you totally are not who you are and you can't get rid of your skin, so you're always going to run into that issue, family. So the only way to totally become free is as a collective, as a group. It don't even take a lot of us. I'm just being honest with you. Because it's not all West Asians that's holding the world in the palm of their hands. Those out there that's with me understand, right? Shouts out to Kimmy Torre. Thank you for throwing a thumbs up. I didn't know you knew what this time of the morning looked like. All right, so let's get this toast on. Man, do I got some stories for y'all. Man, listen, I'm kind of looking forward to getting through this Aesop. One thing about Aesop fables, though. Aesop fables are very concise. So I'm trying to get my story technique to where I could take our old stories and shape them into new stories and create new stories that are short and concise, like Aesop fables. So we're gonna pour some we're gonna pour these libations. Hear it? You hear it? That's that ambrosia. Man, Lord have mercy. So I got this lemon lime, man. I adjusted the ingredients just a little bit. You know what I'm saying? Just a little bit, right? Just a little bit. And you know, it is what it is. It is what it is. And it's real good. Okay. All right, I'll do that afterwards. So, all right, without further ado, we're gonna do these libations. But today, family, all right. I wanna hype up Brother Wakesa's and the Aya Institute of Learning. I want to hype up because this right here is a major piece of us freeing ourselves. This is the crack the code, feelings as messengers, right? I mean, it's a very powerful piece. I'm about to take this because I brought it down so for our discussion on Imani, but I'm gonna take it back and put it upstairs on my mirror, right? Brother Kwame says, Sabe at based on fables. I like it. Get prepared to deliver, but of course, you are always prepared. I don't get that. At best, based on fables. Sabiat, based on fables. I like it. Get prepared, deliver. Well, oh man, you listen, dude. You know I already got that shit. Listen, Kwame, listen, bro. Dude, I got a whole listen. The whole initiation system of a Gye-Nyame is around fables. I want you, because one of the first things that came to me, and I thank you, man. This is what I was thinking about, because I told y'all on Kaumba that I just found out that one of my sons had died. And for those that don't know, man, I got a lot of kids. I got a lot of the young adults. Let me put it that way. Shit. When I developed Gye-Nyame came from the underground. The underground came from Mac. Mac came from what me and my young people, when I was real young. This is before any of the conspiracy shit I even knew about it. We formed a group back in Akron called the Secret Society. Now we formed groups. We used to go out in the woods and practice martial arts and try to practice ninjutsu and break dance and rap, and you know what I'm saying? So what I'm doing is nothing new. You could talk to any of my crew from back home in Akron that grew up with me. I have been consistently doing the same shit, right? I came to Ohio State. I created MAC, or me and a group of individuals created MAC. I was just catalyst for all that. You know what I'm saying? Got a whole piece in it, but something was missing from MAC. So when Underground came, this lightweight storytelling started coming about. I got involved with APDS. Well, actually, even before the Underground, I got involved with APDS, and then the whole Rites of Passage movement started. So what I had been doing the whole time was trying to set up Rites of Passage. I just didn't have the lingo for it. So I started looking into Rites of Passage. Then I started getting into the African spirituality a little bit more, and I started looking, and I started seeing stories. Then the Underground, when I formed the Underground, I formed the Underground under not quite a story, but under the symbolism of a train, right? So each individual on the train had a position, right? So boom, we set it up. So we had kind of a mythic structure based on the train, right? A train moving towards the east, towards freedom, right? Now, when I got plugged into Simba, right? Simba gave me other parts, because with Simba, there came the songs. The song and the movement that was missing from all of the other stuff I had before, but it was still something missing. And I started reviewing some of the stuff, and I remember seeing a show when I was a kid called Power of Myth. And I used to, when that shit came on, I used to sit down and watch that shit. You know what I'm saying? Try to watch it until I fell asleep or I had to go somewhere or something. But anyway, Nomo, we was talking, and Nomo was listening to me talking. Nomo pulled this damn book out and gave it to me. Right? I seen it on TV. I didn't even know they had a book attached. He gave me the book. So I'm sitting up here like, God damn. Looked at the book. I'm reading this book. And Joseph Campbell blew my motherfucking mind. I said, this motherfucker's right. Where's the myths? Well, so I formulated a story called The Tales of G, which all the initiation for Gye-Nyame came from, where I took everything that I had learned previously from the secret society, from forming the secret societies, from forming MAC, from forming the underground, to Gye-Nyame, right? Boom. I did it. You know what I'm saying? And Gye-Nyame was originally, I still consider it's still a part of Simba Nation, right? But it was just like, for Columbus, it was the initiation hub, right? So I formed a myth around it. So my whole structure is based around learning how to use myths, learning how to break them down and look at the symbolism and get the message from them, because this is how we transmitted it. Was just about to say that you must have spent good time. Oh, dude, listen. Oh man, listen. They got a whole website with like just all Joseph Campbell speeches, all types of shit. Right now, brother Kente's in the house. What's going on? We about to do our toast, man. Get your glass. You a grown man. I know you got glass somewhere around there. Drink you some water, some good water, and get your glass with your health drink in it. And Hennessy don't count. All right? All right. But now, check this out, Kwame. Here we go. So, when I started doing what they call intensive foster care, where I started building up my family in a sense, right? I had the roughest of the roughest boys, right? In one point in time, I had a house where only young felons were allowed, and not that gang shit in jail, but in order to get into the house that I had, the program required for the young person to have felonies. So now this is what's crazy, and this is how you know that our boys, they love, even though they be acting like they don't want to be around men, they want to be around real men. I had sons that went out and got felonies so that they get in my damn house. When they found out that the only way they get in my house was to get a felony, they got a felony, and as soon as they were sitting up in there with their caseworker, they told them, I want to go with Brother Hatem. This real talk. But anyway, so, I was trying to get the brothers focused, and, it's kind of hard because at a certain point in time, it was just me. I couldn't get the involvement of the community that I wanted, because I wanted to really set up a whole system for the brothers, but I couldn't. Going back to my son, Brian, who was murdered. I don't know if you knew that, Kente, but Brian got murdered. Not Wisdom, and not second Big Brian, But anyway, so I would talk with my sons about what they wanted to be. So, they was out. This was at a point in time where these boys was wild, dude. like bringing drama, constant drama to the house. Not just drama, but peril and drama to the house. Constantly. Right? And Brian was the oldest at that point in time. So I would ask all of them what they want to be. I had one told me I want to be a microbiologist. I had one tell me I want to be a teacher. I had another one tell me So I'm listening to all this shit that my wayward sons are telling me they want to be. And I'm like, nothing that you are doing is going to lead you to the shit that y'all telling me you want to be. Microbiologist, marine biologist, teacher. None of that shit got to do none of the skills of stealing the car and breaking the motherfucker's jaw and terrorizing the school. None of the shit that y'all doing is going to put you on course. Put you on course for that. But Weezy didn't tell me. See, that's, maybe he read, I hope he read it on the timeline, because I'm pissed. If any of y'all knew and none of y'all told me, right? If anybody knew for longer than 3 weeks, I'm pissed, Kente. Listen, I'm hurt and I'm pissed. I'm very upset. I feel very violated by that shit. If y'all knew that one of us was put in the ground and nobody put out the signal. I'm pissed about that. All right? I'm sorry, brother. But back to the story. So around comes Brian. So Brian, when I talk with him, because I pull him to the side and I would talk to him about what they want to be. And I was sitting with Brian. I remember this. I remember this because this is what triggered me to start developing the stories. I was sitting in the vehicle with Brian. And I said, well, Brian, what you want to be? He said, you know what, Pops? I ain't gonna be like these other niggas. I ain't gonna lie to you. I say, oh, you know they lying. He said, hell yeah, I know they lying, Pop. Excuse me, I don't mean to cuss. That, because as wild as my boys was, they, rarely did they ever disrespect me. Brian, I never had an issue with. Darrell, on the other hand, Darrell was, you know what I'm saying? Darrell was very respectful, but Darrell could take you there. Nico, too. But anyway, y'all don't know them. But anyway, Brian was like, Pops, I ain't gonna lie to you like these other niggas. I want to be a hustler. I said, what? I'm being honest with you. I want to be a hustler. I like fast money. I like fast women. I like that lifestyle. That's what I want to be. And I looked at him. I said, yo, I hear you. But I said, do you know that the life expectancy of a hustler is not beyond 25? He said, yeah. I said, you cool with that? He said, all right. So, I did everything I could to try to kind of pull him away from that. But that was what he was heading for. He was one of the ones, I was able to send him to Africa. So before he went to jail, before he left my house, I sent him to Africa. And he went with Mama Malika. I wasn't able to go on that trip. I went the next year after that. But after having that conversation with him, I started really thinking about Joseph Campbell for some reason. Because Joseph Campbell talked about this thing called archetypes. Archetypes. Hero archetypes. And one of the archetypes, so I said, well, what are the archetypes in our community? And the first one that popped up because of Brian's conversation was the archetype of the hustler. So I had to really explore this piece because there's archetypes working in our community that are different than everybody else's. Because in a sense, as a people, our psyche was shattered. So we had to create different archetypes because we couldn't fit into the traditional archetypes of people. But our archetypes, we still had heroic visions. But our archetypes were a little bit different. So they had to be approached a little bit differently. And I started looking at my young people, and my young people was falling into different archetypes. You know what I'm saying? And the archetype that Brian was talking about was one that a lot of my kids was denying and hiding, but it was the archetype of the hustler. The short-lived, high-spending, dangerous individual. And my whole quest was with Gye-Nyame, with forming Gye-Nyame for these young men after they had the simple experience with trying to form and keep a blanket of protection around them, was how do I combat or how do I transform the archetype of the hustler or the idea of the hustler that was in my community at this point in time, because it was very detrimental to my community. So I had to make sure, you understand what I'm saying? I had to make sure that I came up with something to battle that. This is why I'm not really sad. I'm sad that Brian passed away, but I'm not shocked. I'm not super hurt, because Brian, at a younger age, had decided on how he wanted to go out. And although I didn't agree with it, I could respect that. You know what I'm saying? I just wish that I could have changed the hustling spirit from somebody who wanted that quick cash to somebody who wanted freedom. Our freedom fighters are out there. They're out there. They're just working under archetypes that are not under our control. And when the people don't control their archetypes, they have to be aware of who controls the archetypes, because the archetypes teach the men and the women how they should be, or give them something to aspire towards. And what my young people was looking towards was a hustler. And it ain't the type of hustler that that you hear about when people talking about motivation. It's that straight street manjinga. You know what I'm saying? That straight street bullshit that eats up our lives, eats up our time, and by the time a lot of our young men snap out of it, because what happens is, with the hustler archetype, if you do not meet a young end, you live a hard old life. The characters, exactly. That's the characters we find are urban fiction, and the urban fiction start coming up about this time. See, because we got to understand, man, our enemies study this shit. The archetype is not a mystery. They set up certain archetypes for them, but as if you're going to dominate a group, you have to set up the archetypes, because if the archetypes are outside your control, then you will have a Haiti on your hands. See, with Haiti, they never controlled the archetypes. Shango was still allowed to exist as Shango. Ogun was still allowed to exist as Ogun. Here in America, they destroyed that shit. And then on top of that, they started with this materialism. They started creating new archetypes for us, because they developed new appetites within us. And with these appetites, they're able to destroy us. You understand what I'm saying? Because these appetites lead us towards the archetypes. Because in order to fulfill the appetites that they have put into us, we have to strive for the archetypes they set up for us. You know what I'm saying? The powerless man is one of them. The office worker is one of them. You understand what I'm saying? These are the new archetypes. And not only are they pushing us into these, right? For all of us that don't fit into these, because these are the ones that they're developing for their own people. But for those of us that don't fit, they force us into the hustler ones, the pimp ones. You know what I'm saying? Why? Because what happens is, while they're out on the edges or the fringes of society, right, they have to compete against each other. And in competing against each other, this means that they have to get violent with one another, which means they have to destroy one another. Even the false sense of the gangster, the false gangster archetype. You know what I'm saying? Because it's like, boom, you know, this shit ain't gangster. The shit that a lot of these young motherfuckers, this shit is not gangster. Nigga, you terrorizing your own hood. You allow motherfuckers to litter in your own hood. You allow motherfuckers to sell dope in your own hood. What's gangster about that shit? And Arabs is coming in and taking all your goddamn money because you going to the corner store and buying shit from them and probably buying dope from them too. What's gangster about that? Nigga, you ain't controlling shit. See, but it fits into the archetype, right? Because if you really look at the history of gangs, not just, if you go to the East Coast, the West Coast, you look at the history of the gangs, it's totally different than the history of gangs here. they got rid of all of the gangs in these small areas. Because a lot of these gangs were homegrown. They got rid of those and they imported shit that they control. And they was able to control the archetype of these groups. You look all throughout the Midwest, all throughout the majority of the country, they got rid of all of the homegrown institution, all the homegrown gangs, and brought in these ideas of gangs that they could control. Family, this is real warfare. God damn it, I've been sitting around thinking about this for a long time. So I'll take the challenge. I'll do a subject on folk tales, myths, legends, and shit like that, because that, my friend, is from which they pull religion anyway, and spirituality, because it's the folk tales, the proverbs, the legends, the myths that make up the holy canon of all religions. So when I'm talking about that shit, I'm talking about what's real. Well, actually, what's mythic. Is the difference between what's mythic and what's real. All right, the myth gives you a roadmap on how to live life. Right, it's not life. What happens? The problem is a lot of people take the myth and try to make the myth life, when the myth is just there to give you a roadmap. You know what I'm saying? It's like looking at a map. If you only a fool will mistake the map for the reality. You understand what I'm saying? Because a lot of people looking at the map and they get stuck in the map. They can't tell the difference between the map and reality. That's dangerous. It becomes dangerous. So we need to learn how to look at the map, put the map down, and follow the course. All right, but let's get to the libation. I'm sorry. First, giving honor to the Creator by whatever name you call that Creator. We lift up our glass and we salute the Creator by whatever name you choose. We salute the first source. We salute the Creator of all things. We salute, yes, the first ancestor. We lift up our glass and we salute and we say Ashe. From their family, we move to our personal ancestors, sending out shots to Brian Watson Jr., sending out shots to Kaneko Parsons. I'm going to read the list, and this is the ancestors that we have compiled, family. If you have ancestors that you want to add, by all means, type them up, because this list is not done yet. It's an ongoing list. And like I said, those of you that's on here, you participate in the 21-day challenge, whether you know it or not, because another part of the 21-day challenge is, first off, changing the days of the week and saluting our ancestors. So we adding drinking the water, breathing, drinking the water, culturally appropriate diet, right, which includes fermented foods. Get you some real fermented foods, learn how to ferment food, proper movement. Also thinking, right? We got to start thinking in a different way. If we want to have a different reality, we got to start thinking. If we want to create a new world, we got to start thinking in a new way. Old world thinking will not bring about new world effects. All right? So, calling on our ancestors: Miles Brown, Miss Ann, Robert and Texana Davis, Herman Brown, Senior, Rosalie Tilly, George and William Walter, Chris and Fanny Gaston, Aunt Lena, Uncle Chris, Aunt Fiend, Cleveland and Geneva Brown, Margaret Ellis, Wash Ellis, Cecil Ellis, Elvira Brown, Gina Brown, Herman Brown II, Barbara Twiggs. By the way, family, I'm going to make this list available. I'm going to make it available, and for those of you that's part of the Nguza Cyber Challenge, you're going to be able to have a list, and what I challenge you to do is to find your ancestors in here and move yours up to the top of the list. So you read yours first, because I read mine first, right? And you, when you salute ancestors, should always start with your ancestors first, okay? Gina Gaines, Herman Brown II, Barbara Twiggs, Wash Ellis Jr., Katie Ellis, Nikki Ellis, Jamon Jones, Jeremiah Tappet, John Fallar, Montague Pittman L, No More X, Sapet Ra, Malika Fakir, Dr. Marianne Williams, Kojo Kamal, Elder Farmer, Elder Millie Dixon, Tony Clark, Pastor Yusef Weston, Elder Ajani, Elder Ron Coleman, Elder Robert Donaldson, Alfred Brofro, Hector Jr., Jay Edwards, Carlisle Harris, Grace Lundy, Inez Harris, William Bill Moss, Phyllis Rose, Sterling and Lucy Wright, Derek L. Pullian, the Luxter Brothers, Mrs. Edith Brooks Crawley, Miss Marie Nelson, Mr. Frederick Crawley Sr., Miss Jerry Brunson, Mr. Alonzo Johnson, Miss Marie McDowell, Janice Foster, Charles Jordan, Carol Smith, Walter Smith, Richard Twiggs, Francis Johnson, Mary Franklin, Jimmy Williams, Daniel Ford, George Gibson, Nana Loretta Clark, Inez McCrae, Fritz Clark, Frankie Justice, Katie Justice, Derek Randerman, Virginia Rogers, Reverend James Smith, Lois Henderson, Calvin Spratling, Mary Elizabeth Walker, Raymond Walker Sr., Sarah Jane Carter, Michael Ford Jr., Kellen D. Russell, Susan B. Smith, Teresa Clay, Melvin Dale Hodge, Jr., Herman Copeland, Mildred Copeland, Gina Clay, Bird Beatty, Sarah Ware, Levita Farmer, Agosa Sue, Shell Harvey, Aunt Charmaine, Aunt Evelyn, Theolis Hasbury, Harvey Hasbury Sr., Leonard Dickinson, T.C. Islam, Terrell Dunbar, Will Thomas, Sarah Berry, Mark Walsh, Merrill B. Thornton, Pearl G. Thornton, Ida Johnson, Florence M. Carter, Joanne Thornton, Erica Tricia Lewis, Juanita Wright, Robert Wright, George Wright, Mary Eliza Frederick Davis, Mary Elizabeth Rogers, Mary Esther Keechler Reese, Linda Watson Hammonds, Jarrell Giles Watson, Sparrow, Slimmy, Selvin Lewis, Andrew Holmes, Pearl Moore, Percy Moore Jr., Mildred Owens, Booker T. Bolton, Charlie Hunt, Sammy Stover, Hilda Pearson, Sturgeon Thornton, Richard Thornton, Lavina Hall, Freeman Bankster, Mae Moss, Ophelia Peacock, Willie Thornton, Napoleon Kennedy, Mark Ramsey, Paul Ramsey, Matt Ramsey, David Ramsey, Charles E. Thornton, Frankie Quails, Urania Thornton, Bernice Quails, Ernestine Jackson, Frankie Johnson, Teresa Mormon, Leon Johnson, Charles Bell, Vivian Ramsey, S.E. Johnson, Del Rita Johnson, Leon Johnson, James W. West Sr., James Parham, Dana Jones, Henry Worrells, James Farmer, Mary Chavez, Leon Gross, Bessie Johnson, Hattie Levester, Mary Moreland, Paul Moreland, Elder Caleb, Rosemary Martinier, Elder Imhotep Wellman, Elder Imhotep Wellman, Fred Douglas Triggs Sr., Thelma Triggs, Thomas and Lula Berry, Lucy and Eleanor Howe, Frank and Rustlin Davis, Fred Douglas Triggs II, Vena Triggs, Reverend Eddie Moore, Helen Fuller, Eugene Jackson Sr., Richard Ellis, Silas Alexander, Charles Maxwell, Percy May Alexander, Arthur Reynolds, Stanley Lockhart, Ricky Lockhart, William Lockhart, Woodrow Lockhart, Brenda Porter, Deacon Hargrove, Carla Sawyer, Andrew Parker, Doris Donald, Ellis Murphy. Brother Kente says, Kivana Bonner, Juanita Walker, Jana Callahan, Malika Fakir. I already got Malika. You know I got my Malika, but you sending shots up for yourself. I feel you. Jen and Ruth Jones. All right, I got to get my book so I can add those. I'm going to write those down. But yo, we send up shots and we say, Ashe. From there, family. From there, we'll move on to our present moment. Right now, we are on Kujichagulia, and due to the fact that I've been running my mouth, we on Kujichagulia. For those that don't speak the language, today is Kujichagulia. The language, if you don't speak it, it means self-determinations. D'Amico Russell, Dillamon Aries. All right, you keep them coming. I gotta find my pen. Good God Almighty. All right. Today is self-determination. The motto principle today is justice. The color is indigo. The Hermetic law is correspondence. If you was born on this day like myself, you're Kwabana. If you are female, the name is Abana. That's Gina. The emotional emancipation circle. If you don't want to search for those, you can look for these. African Center Cultural Virtue and Value System. We have in Walla, Kresa, self-respect and respect for others. In Akan, generosity and beneficence. In traditional Yoruba, Ifara Bale, calmness. Right? All right. So we salute the day. In this moment is where our power is. We lift up our glass and we say, Ashe. From their family, we move on to our children, our children's children, to infinity. My son is over here snoring because I let him go today because he going to the doctor. No, he going to the dentist. So he told me not to wake him up because he ain't got to go to school. And I kind of agree with him. All right, you get a day off, homie. All right, but you going to get your ass over there and do that Python tomorrow and start learning how to do that blockchain because we need that blockchain money. We need somebody in the family to understand that shit, right? So we lift up the glass to our children's children, onto infinity, because everything that we're building, everything that we're doing is affecting our children. And better yet, let me say this, family, everything that we allow to happen affects our children. So it's some shit that is unacceptable from anybody. And we got to make sure that we are protecting the legacy, our legacy, and protecting our children, family. So we lift up our glass and we salute our children now so that they can salute us in the future. We realize that we are responsible for the next 7 generations. We realize that we are responsible for laying the foundation. And for those of you that's been with me long enough, you know that you're generational people, and with that, you know what that means. So you need to lay it down now. You understand what I'm saying? So we lift up the glass and we say Ashe. From there, we salute all of our relations. I won't belabor the point. And from there, we move on. And I salute you. And I toast you. And I wish you peace, power, joy, and 100 years, family. So with that, family, y'all gonna have a great, marvelous, spectacular, amazing, great day, right? And I'm gonna write these things down. Ms. Dion Watson, thank you for joining us. We just finished the toast. For those that don't know, you are now listening to Gye-Nyame Journey Radio. Anime, what is you doing? See, I have a phoenix as a pet, and she don't never. You are now listening. Get it together. You are now listening to Gye-Nyame Journey. This is the Daily Toast. We just toasted our ancestors. It's a Heart of a Simba production, where we strive to blow up your old paradigms. Alright, family, we do this on a daily basis. 5:15 in the morning, Umoja through Nia, Kuumba and Amani. Catch me when you can. Alright, because sometimes it's early, sometimes it's late. Now remember, this Ujima, it is the solstice. And we're going to be lighting the flame for Kwanzaa. So I'm going to be taping that. So I got to go make arrangements with my job. And like and share. Like and share. And take the challenge. God damn it. Take the challenge. Let me go up here and lock that on top. Oh, it's already gone. That's messed up. All right, family, y'all have a great morning. All right, peace. Well, I don't get no exit music. Rose are pretty good. They're kind of light though.
Mr. Diddy.
Drink your water. Drink your water. Lift your glass and 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 drink your water. Drink. Drink. Shouts out. I'll see y'all later, family.